In this video, we'll talk about how to set up a complete restaurant table management and order taking system through the Cashofy POS software. So the first step that you need to do is go to settings, basic settings. So you'll see that by default this option would have been selected, point of sale for shops. You need to select the restaurant option, restaurant activate table management system, and click on apply. So once you do that, you'll get two more options in the settings. One is floor plans and the second is order printers. Second thing that you can also do is that typically in restaurant a customer gives tips. So you can go to a particular store. So let's say we want to use the store or convert the store into a restaurant now. So go to settings. Go to this option tip product, and then you can create a new product by the name of customer tips. So this will also allow you to accept tips from the customers for your restaurant. The third thing that you need to do is you need to define the floor layout or the table plan. So you can go to settings for floor plans. So there's no floor plan as of now. You can create a floor plan. So for example, if I have 3 floors, I can say that this is the first floor, and I can choose it for a specific store. Then you have an option to add tables. So let's say there's table number 1, T1, that we have, and which has 4 seats. Then you can exactly define the position and the size of the table. So let's assume that there is horizontal 10 position, vertical 10, and width is 50 and height is 50. You can click save on new. Then you can create the second table. Similarly, add the number of seats for the table, choose the shape of the table, the color, and again define the position, and click on save and new. So once you're done creating all the tables, then you can simply close this window, and you can come back. So this was one way of creating the table or flow layout plan. You can also create this via visual method, and very shortly we'll show you how. So once you have added some of the tables, go back to the dashboard. We need to save this first. So basically you can create different tables. You can add number of seats in that particular table. You can select the shape of the table, and then you can also give the dimensions and the colors. So coming back to the dashboard, so let's say store 1 or restaurant 1 is what we are working on. So we can just resume the session from here. Now as you resume the session, you can see that the two tables that we just created are visible on the screen. Now if you want to change the position, you can edit the screen. So basically if you want to add further tables, you can add tables from here. I can just simply use my mouse to move different tables. Now let's say I'm working in table 3. You see there is a multiple set of options. So you can choose the color of the table, you can choose the type of the table, round or square. Then you can select how many seats are there on the table. Similarly, you can rename the table from here. So let's for now assume that we have 5 tables in the restaurant. So once you're done setting up the whole tables, you can click on close. Now let's assume you get an order from table number 1. So I click table number 1, you can see table number 1 has been selected on the top. Now from table number 1, you can select the items ordered by the customer. So let's say that the customer places an order for potato chips, spinach salad, mango shake, and then pine cake. So you can just select the items. Then you can also add the customer from here. If you want to add the details, you can just choose from existing customer list or add the customer name from here. This is optional. Then in terms of number of guests, again you can key in the number of guests for that particular table here. If you want to transfer the guest from this particular table, table 1, to some other table, you can select the other table. So let's say the guest moves from table 1 to table 3. So you can select table 3 and the same orders is transferred to table 3. So once I'm done adding all the menu items, once I'm done selecting the customer, adding the guest, I can just simply move on to the payments. Now in terms of the payments, you can have cash as one of the method, or you can add multiple other methods like cards, debit card, credit cards as well. So you can simply click on validate to create the receipt and issue that to the customer. In some cases, the customer may also have given tips. So you can just click the tip button, add the amount of tip that has been given by the customer. So let's say 80 is what the customer has given as tips. Now for the tip also, you can mention how much amount has been received as tip. So once you have entered all the details, click on validate. If the customer wants to see an invoice, you can also generate an invoice from here by activating the invoice tab. So let's say I just click on validate. So you get the complete receipt, your company name details, the product or the menu items, then the different taxes. So you can just simply print the receipt by clicking this button and then move on to the next order. So let's say the next order comes to table 1. So you can simply create the new order, select the menu items or search the menu items, and then click on validate and then print the receipt. So yeah, so once you are done taking all the orders, so you can just click on confirm and close, and you'll be back to the screen with store 1, and all the transactions are under the store 1. So at the end of the day, you can just close the session, and you see that in terms of total transaction, a total transaction worth rupees 968 have been made from this particular store or from this particular floor. And you can, to finalize, you can just validate and close the entries. So once done, all the journal entries are automatically passed in the accounting system, and all the cash balances are also updated. So you can see the ending balance has been added as 968.5. Now, if in case there is any change that I need to make to any orders, or if I need to refund money to a customer, then you need to first create a session as I did right now. Then you need to go back to the sales, then choose orders, and if you want to modify a particular order, you can click on return products. So the moment you do so, all the all the menu items have been shown as editable. You can edit the menu items. So if you want to remove, if for example the customer has only asked for refund for mango shake, then you can only have mango shake here. And if the customer has ordered something else as well, so you can add that particular product and then manually add the discounts and taxes. So this is another way of creating the orders. Then you can click on payments to see how much payment is pending to the customer and then make the payment. So this is it. This is how easy it was to set up your restaurant or cafe in this Cashofy POS system. In the subsequent videos, we'll covering how to deal with the cash register and how to enter your incoming and outgoing cash balances.